They'll never let someone like me belong here. That was the thought running through 17-year-old Aniya's mind as she tightened the straps of her faded backpack and stepped into Westbrook Technologies for the first day of her internship. She had no expensive clothes, no designer shoes, and no wealthy parents to open doors for her. All she had was determination. Before we continue, if you love emotional stories with unforgettable endings, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another inspiring story. Now, let's continue. Aniya lived with her widowed mother in a tiny apartment on the edge of town. Her mother cleaned office buildings at night, while Aniya worked evenings at a grocery store to help pay the bills. Every dollar mattered. Every meal was carefully planned. Sometimes they skipped dinner so they could pay the electricity bill. Yet her mother never complained. Education, she always told Aniya, is something nobody can steal from you. Those words became Aniya's motivation. When Westbrook Technologies announced a scholarship internship for underprivileged students, Aniya studied harder than she ever had before. Out of thousands of applicants, she was chosen. She thought it was the beginning of a better life. She couldn't have been more wrong. The moment she entered the company's sleek glass building, she noticed the expensive watches, luxury handbags, polished shoes, and confident smiles. Then they noticed her. Someone whispered, "Did she get lost?" Another laughed. "Maybe she's delivering packages." Aniya pretended not to hear. She smiled politely and walked to orientation. Unfortunately, the teasing only became worse. Her worn-out shoes became the joke of the office. Someone secretly took a picture of them and shared it in the company group chat with a caption, "Future CEO wearing yesterday's shoes." The room exploded with laughing emojis. Aniya saw the message. She quietly put her phone away and continued taking notes. She refused to cry. Her supervisor, Richard, wasn't much better. Instead of encouraging her, he constantly criticized her. "You'll never fit into corporate life," he would say. "You don't have what it takes." Whenever important meetings happened, everyone else was invited. Aniya was told to organize files, make coffee, clean meeting rooms. She wasn't treated like an intern. She was treated like she didn't belong. One rainy evening, everyone had gone home except Aniya. While organizing old project files, she noticed serious mistakes in a financial report. Millions of dollars could be lost if no one corrected them. She stayed until nearly midnight checking every number. The next morning, she nervously handed the corrected report to Richard. Instead of thanking her, he smiled. An unpleasant smile. Hours later, during a board meeting, Richard proudly presented the corrected report. He accepted all the praise. Not once did he mention Aniya's name. She watched through the glass wall as executives applauded him. That was the first time her heart truly broke. When she quietly asked why he hadn't given her credit, Richard leaned close and whispered, "People believe successful people, not per girls." Those words stayed with her for years. Months passed. Despite the bullying, Aniya continued learning everything she could. She borrowed business books from the public library. She watched free online courses late into the night. She practiced presentations in front of a cracked bedroom mirror. While others slept, Aniya prepared for a future nobody else could see. Then came the annual innovation competition. The winner would receive a full-time executive training position. Aniya spent weeks developing an incredible proposal that could save the company millions. The presentation was brilliant, creative, practical, visionary. Everyone was amazed, until one executive asked, "Who prepared this?" Before Aniya could answer, Richard stepped forward. "My department worked on it." Again, he stole her work. This time, everyone applauded him. Aniya stood silently at the back of the room, invisible. That evening, she went home in tears. Her mother hugged her tightly. "They can steal your ideas," she whispered. "They can never steal your ability to create new ones." A week later, the internship ended. Aniya wasn't offered a permanent job. Richard handed her the rejection letter without even looking at her. "We're looking for people who represent our company's image." She understood exactly what he meant. As she walked out of Westbrook Technologies carrying a small cardboard box filled with her belongings, employees watched from the windows. Some laughed. Some smiled. Nobody imagined they would ever see her again. Aniya paused outside the building. She looked back one last time. Quietly she said, "One day, I'll come back. Not asking for a job, but leading this company." Everyone would have laughed if they'd heard her. But fate was already writing a different ending. 10 years passed. Life didn't suddenly become easy for Aniya. After leaving Westbrook Technologies, she faced rejection after rejection. Some companies said she lacked experience. Others simply overlooked her. But every no became another reason to work harder. She took online business courses at night, earned scholarships, and graduated at the top of her class with a degree in business management. She worked for small startups, learning everything she could about leadership, finance, marketing, and innovation. Unlike the people who had humiliated her, Aniya never forgot what it felt like to be ignored. She promised herself that if she ever became a leader, everyone would be treated with dignity, no matter where they came from. Years later, her talent caught the attention of investors. She founded a small technology consulting company with just 3 employees. The first year was difficult. The second year was better. By the 5th year, her company had become one of the fastest-growing consulting firms in the country. Her honesty, intelligence, and compassion made her respected throughout the business world. Then one morning, Aniya received a phone call that changed everything. Westbrook Technologies was in serious financial trouble. Poor leadership, declining profits, and bad executive decisions had pushed the once great company to the edge of collapse. A group of investors planned to buy the company. They wanted one person to rebuild it. That person was Aniya. She sat quietly after the call ended. The same company that once told her she didn't belong was now asking her to lead it. She smiled, not because she wanted revenge, but because life had given her the opportunity to prove that character matters more than appearance. A week later, employees gathered in the company's auditorium for an important announcement. Rumors spread through the room. Who is the new CEO? I heard they're bringing in someone famous. I hope they don't fire everyone. Richard stood confidently near the front, convinced his position was secure. Then the doors opened. The room fell silent. A woman in an elegant navy blue business suit walked in with calm confidence. Her posture was graceful. Her smile was warm. Her success spoke louder than any expensive jewelry ever could. It was Aniya. For a moment, no one moved. Several employees stared in disbelief. One woman covered her mouth. Another whispered, "That can't be her." Richard's face turned pale. He remembered the poor intern, the worn-out shoes, the girl everyone laughed at. Now she stood before them as the company's new CEO. Aniya stepped onto the stage. "Good morning, everyone." Her voice was calm but powerful. "Some of you recognize me." The room remained silent. "I walked through these doors years ago as an intern with big dreams." She paused. "I also walked through these halls feeling invisible." Several employees lowered their heads. "I was laughed at because I was poor." Silence. "My ideas were ignored." Silence. "My work was stolen." Richard couldn't even look at her. But today isn't about revenge. Everyone looked up. It's about proving that where you start does not determine where you finish. The room erupted into applause. Aniya spent the next several weeks meeting employees from every department. She spoke to janitors, receptionists, security guards, interns, engineers, managers. She listened to everyone. She quickly discovered that many hardworking employees had been ignored for years while dishonest managers took credit for their work. The company culture had become toxic. That was about to change. One by one, Aniya introduced new policies. Every employee would be treated with respect. Ideas would always be credited to the people who created them. Promotion would depend on ability, not background, wealth, or personal connections. Anonymous reporting systems were introduced to expose workplace bullying. Training programs were created to help young employees grow. Within months, morale improved dramatically. Profits began rising. Innovation returned. Westbrook Technologies slowly regained its reputation. One afternoon, Richard knocked on Aniya's office door. "Come in," she said. He entered nervously. For the first time in years, He wasn't the confident manager everyone admired. He looked tired, ashamed. "I owe you an apology," he said quietly. Aniya listened without interrupting. "I treated you terribly. I stole your ideas. I judged you because you were poor. I've regretted it for years." He lowered his head. "I don't deserve forgiveness." Aniya looked at him for a long moment. Then she spoke. "I forgave you a long time ago." Richard looked up in surprise. "But forgiveness doesn't erase accountability." She handed him a folder. Inside was an internal investigation showing years of unethical behavior, not just toward Aniya, but toward many employees. After a thorough review by the board, Richard was dismissed from the company. Not because Aniya wanted revenge, but because leadership without integrity destroys people. As he left the building carrying a small cardboard box, he remembered another young employee walking through those same doors years earlier. This time, no one laughed, because everyone understood how quickly life can change. Months later, Westbrook Technologies held its annual Innovation Awards. Instead of executives standing alone on stage, interns stood beside them. Every person who contributed to a project received recognition. During her closing speech, Aniya looked around the room. "I used to believe success meant proving my enemies wrong." She smiled. "But I learned something much greater. Success means opening doors for people who were once standing exactly where you stood." The audience rose to their feet in a standing ovation. Among them sat Aniya's mother. Tears filled her eyes as she watched her daughter lead the company she had once cleaned late at night. After the ceremony, Aniya walked outside the building. She looked at the entrance, where she had once promised herself she would return. She kept that promise. Not with anger, not with revenge, but with excellence, humility, and kindness. Because the girl everyone laughed at had become the leader everyone respected. And in the end, it wasn't money that made her rich. It was her character. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more emotional and inspiring stories every week. Now tell us in the comments, if you were Aniya, would you have forgiven Richard, or would you have handled things differently? We'd love to hear your thoughts. See you in the next story.